It's not a Sony, but it is a Sanyo VTC-M40. Hello, and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we're looking at a Sanyo VTC-M40. I have been after one of these machines for so long, and I'd pretty much given up, to be honest, because the ones you see on eBay, they are pretty either very expensive or pretty beaten up, and they're fairly rare as well. There seems to be a lot less of these around than the Sony HF100 and indeed even the HF950. So, you know, it's I'm over the moon to have one, and I have to say I'm very humbled again that this has been donated to the channel for by Aaron, and thank you very much, Aaron. I just can't believe it. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Now, there are quite a few issues with this, and if we have a look here, Aaron has included a letter. So let's have a look around the machine while I read the letter. So this machine is a gift for your channel. Tracking control pot is faulty. Not sure if it can be repaired, although the master may be able to. Very kind, thank you. Hi-Fi audio is good for the most part, but you will need to fix the tracking issue first before you can determine this. Circuit board has cracked solder right behind the video out socket, so there, and you will have to connect via RF to get a picture for you to test the machine, which is fine. And record mode switch will need to be replaced on front panel. Should be a good machine when it's done. Would be nice to see it repaired on your channel. Your superb channel. Thank you very much, Aaron. It's just great. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm going to do this a little bit different insofar as I'm not going to power it on first to test it. I'm going to just have a quick look at that solder joint. I also need to sort out an issue with the power lead. At some point, obviously, it's been cut and it's had a sort of temporary fix, which is okay to, you know, just check it, whatever. But I'm going to put the put this part of the cable actually into the back of the machine so we can get rid of that that temporary repair. And here's the record mode switch, which is for also a manual for the level for the hi-fi audio. I guess standard audio as well, I don't know. I have never seen one of these machines before, which is why this is totally wonderful. And you know, it's nice. It's a nice machine, and I am really looking forward to getting it going. And of course, we do have parts for this as well, belts and idlers and whatever. So we may well do that in the course of time. But yeah, I'm sort of hoping in this video to at least get it going and sort out the initial issues, and then depending on how long the video is, I'll either do a service on it in this one or I'll do it in another one. But yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so tops off. I didn't bother showing that because it's just 4 screws on the sides and off it comes, lifts up. And I can immediately see the problem here with the broken print here. So yeah, so I'll do that now. I'll probably just run some wire, probably do both of them, to be honest. Yeah, I've got the iron warmed up, so we'll do that first, then we'll have a look at getting this mains cable sorted. So that's done, and Hopefully that will do the trick, keep it nice and reliable. So, onto the mains cable. So, just thinking about this, I am tempted to actually take the whole power supply out to actually change that mains cable. And I think I'd just be happier taking the whole lot out. It gives me a chance as well to check the interesting 2 different types of screw there. So obviously it's been apart a few times. Not altogether surprisingly. That's the first look inside. Very characteristically Sanyo. I must have a look at my M10 again, because I'm still convinced that I can get that going. Oh dear, wait. That one's come off in sympathy. There we go. Screw here. Yeah, so I do want to have another look at the M10 in the fullness of time. There's no rush on that. It's not for anyone. Do I have to remove all the screws? Possibly not. So what I do like is these machines are relatively easy to work on. So another screw through the bottom. So there's a screw underneath. See, that's been pulled on a few times as well. There's a little bit of a bend mark there. Let's whip that out. Oh, Mr. Connector. Mr. Connector. Let's pull that taped bit through. And one power supply. So, power supply arrangement, relatively simple power supply in many ways. I don't know how many AC lines are coming off here, probably 3. So AC for the VFD display. For the heaters, probably. A couple of others, a low and a high AC, maybe. I don't know. I have not done any research on this at all, because I quite like these days just winging it. Really interesting what happens. So most of the voltages are generated by the STK chip here. It's an STK7217 voltage regulator chip. They do have a reputation for being very unreliable, but it really depends. I mean, Sanyos, they're not always too bad, to be honest. I remember I changed one in a C6 a while ago now. So let's just get some of this dust off while I'm in here. Nice. This is probably a bridge rectifier. Things have got quite hot here, but that's fine. There's even been a bit of smoking going on there. Something has got very hot at some points. So you can see any issues on the back of the board. Not really. It's not too bad. It's a regulator down there as well. So yeah. So let's get this mains cable out. I'd like to try and keep it looking as original as possible if I can. just because, well, it's nice to. With a good push. There we go. Lovely. And it is still in one piece. So there we go. I've put the new cable back on, and all good to go. I ended up taking off the plastic that goes on the back. That actually releases the actual cable management on the back, from the back of the power supply anyway, which is great. And just looking at the transformer, I was indeed right. It's 3 separate supplies. So yeah, that was a good guess. So I'm just going to clean up a few little bits, and because I do, and we'll put that cable clamp back on and put it back in the machine. So the damage was a little bit more than I actually anticipated, but it doesn't really seem to have caused any sort of additional electrical stress. So this brake here, you can see there, goes through there, around there, doesn't go any further, which is great. But I've obviously had to repair here. Then this one, which we did right at the beginning, for that broken pad. Then here, there's an earth link, or ground, sorry, link there, and it's broken just the other side of it. So I've just, there's some solid wire soldered to the board there. Then here, it's broken through here, goes through here, and then through here. But this just comes around here, down here, round here, up to here. So I've just put the wire straight across, and the rest of it is actually okay. We've got away with it. So yeah, we'll see in testing, but yeah, should be good. Okay, so just looking at this board a bit more closely, you can actually see there's a crack going along here. It doesn't look as if it goes any further than the back of this connector here. But turn this back over. You could probably just make out where it's cracked. It's cracked right the way along here. So not only has it broken this trace, but the damage has gone right the way along here. Possibly there as well. But yeah, I just need to go through all of this and just make sure it's all good. So I shall do that next. So I think the next thing I'm going to look at is this record mode auto manual switch. Obviously still not powered this on yet, but I just think I'd like to sort of just examine the whole machine, go through it. We know there's a tracking issue as well, which possibly is do that knob there, but it could be possibly broken print again, maybe. So yeah, let's get the front off and take it from there. Okay, so let's get the front off. I believe I just need to pull these off, and I should be able to just remove it. It's not captive. No, it isn't. Super. Okay, so everything there looks good. Just thinking of just checking this board out before I do too much more. I want to pull from there, really. I don't want to pull from there either. Ah, there we go. So that does actually live there. That bit of plastic should be stuck down, but the stick is perished. Unclip all of this. And And do I have to take the top board off as well, I wonder? Well, actually I can take this off now, if it will come off. Yeah, so that's come off, and I'll just stick myself to the one part. So that does some clips, 2 clips there, and there's a clip there as well, which a bit of jiggering about gets it sorted. Tracking control, it's quite a weak affair, that. Possibly should have downloaded a manual, but that may happen. Still may happen, depending on what I find. So the actual tracking control looks fine, but I will just run solder over these anyway, and drop the knob. Okay, let's take the knob back off. Well, I suppose I can spray some deoxit in there and see what happens. This switch here, I don't quite... I actually know quite the best way forward with that. Because it's a standard switch with that on the end of it, and then that on the end of that, and then that on the end of that. So if you get one of these switches, which should be, I would have thought fairly straightforward, I can just replace that. So I haven't got one of those switches. I've got something similar, but it's got a much larger sort of top to it. So I have actually, I think I've managed to find some on Farnell. So I will, if they do the trick, the double pole, double throw, then I will put a link to them in the description, or otherwise say they didn't work. This seems okay. I will just run over the solder. As I said I was going to do that, and I didn't. But I have just filled that with deoxit, and it went in quite nicely through the actual spindle shaft as it comes through there. So hopefully that will be okay. But I'm doubting it is actually that. I don't know. I mean, yeah, we'll see. So yeah, let's run some solder over the back of it anyway, and see how we get on, I suppose. Interestingly, there's nothing actually on that I can feel. Yeah, let's just run solder around them all. I know that electrically does nothing, but okay, super. So yeah, I suppose the next thing is, let's give this a bit of a clean up as well at the front while it's all apart. Bag up those switch parts, and then I'm tempted actually just to take the bottom cover off, have a look, just make sure there's no damage there, and yeah, give it a test, I suppose. While I think about it, I didn't actually put the old grommet back in. I got most of the way there, but I just damaged the grommet so much. So I've actually ordered some new ones, and I've also ordered the proper tool to mount them. So yeah, that won't be in this video. Maybe I'll do it in an updates video, but I've got quite a few more machines that I need to actually change the mains leads and, as a result, the grommets. So at some point you'll see that. So bottom board actually looks fine. There's a little bit of a dent in the metal cover, which made me think maybe I ought to just check it out. Getting this apart or open, basically, if you use 2 screwdrivers, it's much easier, but these just literally unclip. See there, just unclip and then you can get in. Isn't terribly dusty, but yeah, it's all looking good. It's all looking in one piece, so yeah, happy with that. So I think all the belts look alright. I think we're ready to give this a test. I've taken the metal cover off. First time I've seen this. The belt is fairly slack, to be fair, so it will need that changed. But yeah, the idler looks okay, I think, and the belt looks okay, I think. So let's power this up for the first time. Not really my style to do it this way round, but yes, given what this machine is and with the power supply arrangement that it has, I'm fairly happy to sort of have done that work and then try it. So fingers crossed. Here goes. Okay, so power's come on. Timer was selected, so that's fine. So I haven't got these on quite right, have I? That's fine. I don't care about that at the moment. So I suppose we ought to try tape. Use it as a bit of a benchmark. So let's just run. So obviously it doesn't load. So the idler seems good, which is great. Loading seems fine. So here's some bearing noise there. Oh, bit of damage in the tape. So there is some distortion at the bottom there. Let's just see what the tracking does. I do see what Aaron was saying about the tracking control. Yeah, tracking control is dodgy. Definitely. I think. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm half debating whether it's the deck. I mean, to be fair, I'd probably need to stick a meter on the tracking and just see what is actually changing, whether there is like a fluctuation on the voltage that comes across from the tracking control. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so playing back, it's actually pretty good now, and yeah, that control is bad, but it is getting better. But the hi-fi audio, at the moment I'm playing on left channel, I believe. No, right channel. So right channel stereo is absolutely fine. Left channel, you can see there's noise. So there is something that isn't ahead. That is something in the hi-fi audio circuitry. And of course, normal's fine. So yeah, we have issues still to sort. Yeah, if I play about with if I just wiggle the tracking control, it's all over the place. Yeah, so that potentiometer is bad. So I need to source that. I need to sort out the deck. I say sort out, give it a good clean. I'm not convinced that the heads are in great order, but you know, we'll see. So yeah, but we have a working machine and we have video out, audio out working, and yeah. So I'm not going to say this is part one of whatever, just because this is a bit of a sort of work in progress. So I've got it working. We've sorted out several issues. Seems to be a good machine basically, but it will need a lot more work. So in a future video, we'll change the switch, get that working. We'll sort out the door because the tabs are broken at the bottom. This is a really bad design, to be honest. The tabs at the bottom are so weak, and when you consider that the tracking control is underneath that door, it's going to get broken. I mean, it sort of comes out here, and it's just going to get snapped off. And the plastic is really very poor, to be fair. So, yeah, so there's that. What else do we need to do? Change that belt. Look at the idler. I'm tempted to put a new idler assembly on it, actually. So I'll do that. Obviously get this sorted out so I get this right. Clean underneath the display here. So you can't really see it on camera, but it is actually quite contaminated between the filter and the actual plastic at the front here. So that needs to be removed and just cleaned. But yeah, it's just great to see one of these machines. So what do I think about it? I like it. I think it's very much. It sort of reminds me a bit of the decent Matsui machines, and maybe that's a bit harsh. But the decent Matsui machines, the VHS machines, were actually pretty good, but they were really built to a budget. And I just feel this cuts so many corners with its design. Performance-wise, yeah, you know, it does a good job. Mechanically, it's pretty bulletproof, and I do love the way it unwraps for wind and rewind. It's a really good design, fast with loading or lacing and unlacing, but yeah, I still prefer the Sonys, I have to say. It's just the whole build quality and working on them, and ultimately these are just going to wear out. They will just conk out. Whereas the Sonys have a bit more chance, maybe, of lasting, just because the build quality is so good. Electronic side, yeah, okay. Sony do drive things like capacitors much harder. So you get problems with caps and various areas that have been supplied by different manufacturers that haven't quite understood the spec, or very close to the ultimate sort of spec of the components. So they fail, and we're getting problems with that with like the HF100 and 950, which I'm working on at the moment, where the 10 microfarad 16 volts, I think it's the Elna caps, are just failing, you know, just going down right, left and center, and it's what they take out with them. You know, you get the odd transistor that goes pop as a result. But you don't get so many issues with these. Yeah, but I do have a warmth for Sanyo. I mean, Sanyo is Panasonic's little brother. Panasonic, obviously, VHS, and ended up buying and owning JVC as well. But I always rated the Panasonic machines above all other VHS machines, ultimately. And Sanyo went with Beta, and really went their own way, really made it their own, and really made good value machines. I mean, they were really taking on Panasonic, and then some, and I really applaud and salute them for doing that. Really such a brave fight in the video format wars, and I love this machine. I mean, no matter what I say, I love this machine. It's just so 80s, and it just looks so great, and it encapsulates everything that is great about Betamax machines, with a lot of thought and a lot of really good design. Variations on the Sony design. There is also a belt here, but that's actually fine, incidentally, for the front loading system. So 2 belts on these. So yeah, what can I say? It is what it is. It's not a Sony, but it's a very worthy machine, and I'm going to be keeping this one, and loving it, you know, enjoying it, just because it is what it is, just a really good, solid, reliable machine. Yeah, in its own. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in another video. Bye for now.